Building a personal brand is a long journey. People out there think that going viral, making TikTok dances and memes, it's being a creator or having a personal brand. A personal brand is not a million views. Having one is a long process that can take many months and years. In this video, I'm gonna break down the 5 levels of actual personal brand building and show you how each step looks like. So, let's get into it. Alright, so the first level is the bottom, the lowest of the lowest. I wouldn't even call this a personal brand. This is just noise, no signals. So who are the people that are stuck at this level? This is actually where most people are, even if they think they're not. You've got a LinkedIn, maybe an Instagram, there's no clarity, no positioning, no signal. Someone lands on your profile and they have absolutely no idea who you are, what you do, or why they should even care. And here's the brutal truth about that. If someone can't even know what you do, they're not gonna remember you. Not because they're being harsh, but because their brain has like 1,000 more things to focus on. You're not giving anything to hold on to. At level 1, you're not being passed over. It's just that you're not even considered, which is worse actually. Maybe you got a couple hundred Instagram followers, maybe fewer than 300 LinkedIn connections, and your posts look like this. I'm really excited to announce that I started a new position at X company. Nobody cares. Let's move to level 2. This is where things actually start to get tricky because level 2 feels like progress. You're putting stuff out, you're showing up, you post some industry thoughts, some updates, maybe unpopular opinions that are actually not that unpopular, and on the surface it looks like you're building something. But here's what's actually happening. There's no positioning behind any of it, no positioning behind your posts, no clarity, no identity, no clear narrative that people can follow. People might see your content and they think it's decent, but they forget you and they keep scrolling. This is the trap most people fall into. They confuse visibility with clarity. They think being active online means that they are building a brand, but without positioning, you're just adding more content to an incredibly noisy feed. Being active is not the same as being known for something. And until you're known for something, you're just another voice in the millions of voices shouting into the void. But you still have a couple hundred connections and you still attend to events every once in a while. At this level, this is where you repost your boss company's updates or maybe engage in the comment section on LinkedIn, for example. Maybe you create some posts, put out some pictures every quarter or every now and then, and that's it. Let's move on to level 3, and this is where things actually start to click. At level 3, someone who's seen your stuff in a few seconds can already tell what you're all about. You're the guy who breaks down the creator economy, or you're the person in talking about marketing and ops in the B2B space. You have a category in people's minds, and this is where you start really to build your personal brand. Alongside with the content, you're networking with intention now. You're not just posting and hoping people find you. You take the initiative. You're in the comments, you're in the DMs, you're in the rooms where conversations are actually happening. And your name starts showing up at events and in rooms you haven't even thought of. This is the real signal that you're starting to form a personal brand. People recognize you outside of your post. They associate you with something specific. But here's the catch. It's still fragile. If someone loses track of you for like 2 to 3 weeks, they lose track of you entirely. Because there's no system keeping your identity intact across interactions. Every new conversation kind of starts from scratch. Being writing hot takes about your industry, maybe some lessons from work, maybe a few motivational posts that sound deeper than they actually are. You start getting likes, comments, tags in posts and pictures, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so level 4, and this is the level that most people never even reach. And in this level is where things actually change. At level 4, you stop relying on scatter links and disconnected platforms. Instead of saying, here's my link, here's my portfolio, here's my newsletter, or whatever, you just have one place that represents all of it. One identity hub that's always updated, always accessible, works across every single interaction that you have. This is where something like Wave Connect actually becomes something useful, not just as a digital business card, but as a brand anchor. Your photo, your banner, your socials, your profile, and your contact info are all displayed in one single place. One tap or scan and someone has everything they need to find you, remember you, and reach back out when the timing is right. And this changes how networking works entirely. Every conversation becomes trackable, every introduction has a follow-up built into it. You're not just dropping your info and hoping for the best. You're building a connected system around your presence. Posting becomes scalable, relationships become scalable, you stop managing your brand manually and it starts running like an infrastructure. That's real leverage. This is where you start thinking that you figure it out because you're not just posting, you're networking. You're commenting on other people's posts with thoughtful replies. You DM people saying that you find their content insightful, you're getting inbound DMs, offers, even partnerships, and you slowly start stitching your online presence together across LinkedIn, Instagram, maybe even a YouTube channel. You start sounding more intentional, like you're building in public. Level 5. This is the top 1%, not in terms of followers, but in terms of impact. At level 5, your personal brand stops being something you actively maintain. It becomes something that exists on its own. People are referencing your frameworks, they quote your thinking in conversations you're not even part of, they recommend you to rooms you've never been in. You're no longer just distributing content, you're distributing perspective. And perspective is the thing that actually compounds. A post might get seen today and forgotten tomorrow, but perspective gets carried around in someone's head for years. The cool thing at this level is that opportunities stop coming from content or outreach. They come from recognitions. You don't cold pitch rooms anymore. You get invited to stuff. This is where things get slightly annoying for everyone else because you've somehow made yourself hard to ignore without trying that hard. People start referencing your ideas without tagging you, saying things like, I saw someone talk about this, when they're literally talking about you. You're no longer just posting content, you're becoming a person whose opinions travel without effort. You don't even think about networking anymore because everything just happens all around you. Your presence is consistent even if you're not active or you're not actually in the room. And at this point, you're not even competing for attention anymore. You're just part of the conversation architecture that's shaped around you. People either know you already or they will eventually. Here's the thing though, none of this is about talent. It's not about being more creative, more consistent, or being more online than everybody else. It's about clarity, structure, and systems. The people who seem to attract the most opportunities with the least amount of effort, they aren't lucky. They build the right foundation at each level before moving to the next one. Most people fail not because they have nothing to offer. They fail because they never move beyond posting into positioning. They never take time to build the infrastructure that makes their presence stick. So the real question isn't whether you're building a personal brand. It's which level are you actually operating at right now. If you want to know how to grow your professional network, check out this video right here. And if you want the best digital business card for networking, click the link below the description. That's it for this video. I'll see you on the next one.